What's new, crew? My name's Cassandra. Welcome back. Welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to show you guys basically how I make my meal plan. I'm going to walk you guys through how I meal plan for a whole month for my family of 5. I do this because I think, well, I know it saves me time, it saves me money, and it's something that works for me. If you want to see other meal planning videos, I'll link them down below. But normally I share with you guys just my meal plan, my meals, what we're eating for the month, lunches, breakfasts, whatever, things like that. Today in this video, I'm going to show you guys actually how I go about actually making that meal plan. So it's going to be a little bit of behind the scenes of how that happens. So typically the first thing I'll start with is actually my list from the month previous. So these are my meals through the month of January. As I'm filming this, only January 26th, so I still have 5 days left of the month. I like to do this with days still left in the month before I go grocery shopping. I go grocery shopping typically on the 1st of every month, and I like to give myself some time because sometimes I have 3 kids, they're all little. I have 3 kids under the age of 5, and sometimes, you know, you get distracted. You can't do it all in one sitting sometimes, so I like to give myself time to do those things. So typically where I start is with that list, and I'll look to see what didn't we eat. Do I have things that I plan to eat? But maybe like this month we had 2 birthday dinners, so I didn't make 2 dinners, so I'm gonna have extra things. What didn't we eat? What do I have that I can move over to next month? And usually I'll have a couple meals already, right, just from looking at last month. After I do that, I move on to my pantry because typically I don't have anything left in my fridge. Because I only go grocery shopping once a month, I don't have anything fresh left typically. Like, the only thing we have fresh left is, I think, like a little sliver of a green bell pepper and some cuties for the kids, and everything else is gone. Typically we eat through our food pretty well. A lot of baking stuff left up here, but that's typically what it is. So I'm looking at this. This is my flour, so I'm gonna need to put flour on my list for sure. But this is where I go through, and I'm kind of just wanting to get rid of boxes that are half empty or bags that are half empty that are just in the way and they're annoying. Like these little bags of egg noodles. I've had this in here for like 3 months. I need to get rid of those. So I'm probably gonna make a casserole, get rid of those. I have a little bit of these shells left, a little bit of these macaroni noodles left. So what I might do is throw a bunch of different noodles in pots and boil them all separately and just make like a Mod Podge mac and cheese or something for the kids. I'm sure they'll love that. Jello here, this is our bread basket. I don't pay attention to this because, like I said, we eat through all of our food, so this is empty, or it will be empty by the time I go grocery shopping again. So I'm making mental notes. I've got noodles I want to use up. What else do I have in here that is kind of annoying? Okay, we've got a hamburger helper back here, some taco shells. Everything else is pretty much gone. This is our snack basket for the kids, so we pour everything that comes in boxes in here. Like, I just pulled this out of the basement yesterday, so we'll dump it in there and I'll throw away the box or recycle the box. I have a ton of potatoes left, but really that's it. So when I say we eat through our food, I really mean it. We circle through our food pretty easily throughout the month. I have a shelf in my basement with other food storage items, but this is typically what we're left with. I've got some tomato juice back there so I can do a chili. Now I'm looking in one of my freezers. I also have 2 chest freezers in my basement, but I'm looking for meat and cheese. So I'm gonna do fish for dinner one night, so this bag will be gone. Got a couple things of cheese down there. That cauliflower rice has been down there for a while, so I'm gonna make sure I eat that up. A little bit of chicken left. This whole bag is cod, so that's fish as well. So got some peas back there, but this is typically, this will all be gone. All this meat, I might have maybe a couple chicken breasts left. I'll definitely have some cod left, maybe not a lot, but let's see, what else do we have? I've got a bone-in steak right here, so I might use this on a meal plan next month. So I'm just kind of taking a mental inventory of what I have, so I know how much I have of it when I go to make my grocery list after my meal plan. Now that I have a pretty typical or a pretty good understanding of what I have, I'm gonna go ahead and make my grocery list here. So what I like to do is actually take my last month's grocery list or meal plan if I still have it. Sometimes by this end of the month it's been destroyed, but this month it's still intact. And I'm just gonna look down it and see, okay, like what didn't we eat? So I know we didn't eat chicken wraps. We might still eat that coming up within the next 5 days. Actually, we definitely will. I'm just looking here. I'm also looking to see if we tried any new meals last month, which we did. Did we like them? Do we want to eat them again? So because February is a short month, this plan is usually a lot easier to make just because I need less meals. But I'm just going to list down my paper 1 through 29 or how many days are in February. And I'm just going to list out my meals. I have my paper listed 1 to 29 and I will plan all 29 meals. That way if we decide we want to eat out, or like me and my husband's anniversary is this month, Valentine's Day is coming up, I'm still gonna plan for those days to have a meal, even though I know we're going on a trip for like 2 or 3 days through February. I'm still gonna plan out those meals. That way, if we decide that I'm gonna make those meals ahead and bring them with us on our trip, we have them, or if I decide not to, it's fine because I'll just throw all those ingredients in the freezer and then we'll use them in March's meal plan instead. So I'm basically now just gonna look down this meal list that I had last month. So we didn't eat our roast, so I'm going to write that down. I remember I have those noodles in my pantry and I want to get rid of those, so I'm gonna write down a casserole. You can do your casserole of choice, but I'm gonna do tater tot casserole. Haven't done it in probably 8 or 9 months, and those noodles work good for that, so I'll do that. I also have leftover barbecue chicken from last month. I made a whole big package that I got on sale at Aldi. Made them all up at once. We only ate probably a 1/4 of the drumsticks. I put the rest of them in a Ziploc bag and threw them in my freezer. So now this month when I want to make them, all I'm gonna have to do is take them out of the freezer, let them thaw, and then throw them on the grill, and all you're doing is reheating them basically. So I'm gonna put drumsticks, and I'll know what that is. That'll be a really good easy dinner for us, or even a lunch maybe. I mean, who knows. I know I'm gonna have leftover fish, so I'm gonna put a fish dinner. Last month I made this, I tried a new steak recipe, or like a new steak marinade, and everybody loved it, so I'm gonna put that on here again. So I'm just gonna put down beef sheet pan dinner. We'll do that again, and basically once I have used ingredients that I know I need to use up either before they go bad or the package is just annoying me sitting in my pantry, I'll go ahead and fill in the list with typical family favorites. So for our family, that would be tacos, like spaghetti, and maybe we'll do, like I'll do spaghetti and meatballs just for an easy dinner. I remember I have that hamburger helper package that's annoying me, so I'll put that down. I have some enchilada sauce that I have had forever, and I really just need to use it up, so I'm gonna put down enchiladas. So once I filled in what I can, or what I can remember off the top of my head just off of last month's list, getting rid of stuff and using up things, and family favorites, I'm at 13 meals. So now what I'll do typically is pull out Pinterest and do Pinterest, like find Pinterest meals that are really easy. So now I have Pinterest up, and typically what I'll do is just type in the search bar like cheat meals, easy meals, like Aldi recipes, something like that. I like to keep my meal plan pretty simple and as cheap as possible, obviously. And a lot of times going through this, I'll find meals that I haven't made in a long time, or I'll see something and I'll be like, oh yeah, I can add that to my meal plan. Like I saw a recipe for pot pies on here, like this chicken pot pie casserole, and I realized we haven't had pot pie in like 2 months probably. It's a family favorite, so I put that on the list. A lot of the times, I'm sure you guys can relate to this, you make the same meals over and over and over again, and then you get sick of them and you won't make them for 2 or 3 months, and then you miss them and you make them again. So that's what happened with the pot pies. I made them a ton over the holidays because we had a ton of leftover turkey or chicken and gravy and all those vegetables like corn, green beans, peas, all those, like all of those side dishes. And pot pies are like the easiest thing to throw all those leftovers into, and I just threw them in my freezer like pre-made, and then pulled them out of my freezer, threw them in the oven. So I had like 8 pot pies I think we ate through over the last, since November. So we needed a break from them. But those are gonna be back on the rotation, and I'll just kind of scroll through these here and kind of see what we're gonna do. Like, I'm seeing a crunch wrap recipe. We've never made those, but I know everybody likes those, so let's try a crunch wrap recipe. And now, right now that I'm thinking of this, I have KFC bowls on my meal plan as well. I got that idea from Katie Mack here on YouTube. I'll link her channel down below. She's amazing. I love her. But since I have KFC bowls and a crunch wrap, maybe what I'll do is a whole video on making your favorite things from like fast food restaurants at home. So maybe I'll do something like a chicken sandwich, like a McChicken. So I think that might be fun. So maybe I'll do that. So keep an eye out for that video, because that seems like a lot of fun. But now I'm scrolling. I'm also remembering that Katie from Katie Mack, she sent me a recipe for these like, why can I not think? Beef and broccoli. And I want to try it. So I'm putting that on my meal plan as well. So we're gonna have beef and broccoli. Maybe I'll add that into my favorite takeout recipes at home. That could be fun. But yeah, basically this is what I do. I'll scroll, and if I hit the bottom and I'm like, okay, I've been scrolling for a while and I'm like, yeah, none of these are sounding good, I'll type something else into the search bar. Or what I'll do is, if I'm looking in the fridge and I see that I have buttermilk in my fridge still from making Christmas cookies, I'll type in buttermilk recipes. I'm seeing best homemade biscuits, bread recipes, sponge cakes, buttermilk fried chicken. We don't do fried food really, unless it's fish, Friday fish fries. But I'm seeing a lot of different things on here. Buttermilk pumpkin pie. So I'm not really seeing anything too amazing in here. I'll probably just use that buttermilk up baking something with the kids for fun. So I have 19 out of 29 meals. I'm trying to keep this more like actual do it with me, so this video might be a little longer, it might be a little drawn out. But okay, so now I'm thinking, like, what do I have? We haven't done pasties. Let me do pasties. If you want to know how I make pasties or what pasties are, I'll link that video down below. It's basically just meat and potatoes in a pastry that you bake, and then you can dip it in different sauces. It's really, really good. You can add like a ton of different things in them. Trying to think, what else do we have? So I pin recipes all the time in my Pinterest, still on my phone here. So now that I'm running out of ideas and my brain power is kind of low, I'm going to go into my recipes. I have like 100 different folders on here, and I'm kind of like, okay, what am I seeing? I have a pin for healthy dinner recipes. I have a keto one when we were doing a lot more keto sized things. So like chicken wraps. I'm gonna add those on here. So I'm gonna put down a chicken cordon bleu. I see that on here. We haven't done that in a really long time, so I've got that right there. If you wanna follow me on Pinterest, I mean, you can. Yeah, it's just Cassandra Smet. So you can go ahead, follow some of my recipe pins. My Pinterest is not that amazing, I'm gonna be honest. But I've got some recipes for like Magnolian beef, black pepper beef stir fry. That looks good. I haven't done that in a long time, so let me do that. Beef stir fry. So typically steak products are much more expensive than like a ground turkey or a chicken, and I already have, I think, 3 or 4 recipes on here that are gonna need beef products, like beef tips or beef steak. So now, to make sure that I'm keeping my cost low, I'm going to no longer be doing like steak items. I know I have another package of beef tips down in the basement in my freezers, so I hopefully should be okay with keeping that kind of lower. I'll just need, I think, 3 different things of steak. So now I'm gonna focus more on either chicken, like ground turkey, or even like pork chops or hot dogs, Or another family favorite is kielbasa. So I'm actually gonna put down a kielbasa sheet pan dinner. Those are super easy. I just cut up the kielbasa and typically we'll do carrots, cauliflower, broccoli, potatoes, and throw them all in a sheet tray. Drizzle them with olive oil and seasonings, and then we'll put cheese on the top of it, throw it in the oven, and everything bakes, and it's like just really good. And it's typically actually a pretty healthy dinner as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I have 5 meals left. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to my meal plan here from last month, take another look at it. I'm trying to think, like, what do I have? I also like to plan in like what I call convenience meals, and these are basically just meals that take either like 2 seconds to throw together or no brain effort at all, like a boxed dinner or something, to help me from eating out or ordering in, because I have those meals on my meal plan already and they're like in my house and ready to go. So I typically like to have a couple of those every single month just to help keep me in budget as well, because then I'm eating in and I'm not ordering out like $70 to feed my family of 5. So I'm kind of looking at those. I also want to make sure I have a couple crock pot recipes because my husband works full-time, but he's also in school. So I have a handful of nights throughout the week where I'm on my own with all the kids. And it's very convenient to have a crock pot dinner. And I'm looking at this and realizing that I don't have any crock pot dinners actually. So now what I'm going to do is go back up into that Pinterest search bar, and I'm going to type in probably easy crock pot recipes, easy crock pot meals, bam. So now I'm just going to go ahead and scroll and kind of look, and let's see what I can come up with off the top. I also try to make these meals something that my kids are more likely to eat. I'm seeing crock pot sloppy joes. That could be super easy. So I just finished off my meal plan for the month of February for my family. 28 days. I looked at a calendar. So I made sure I wrote in a couple of crock pot meals. I think that my camera died for 2 seconds, so while I was switching out batteries. But I added sloppy joes, ham and potatoes, basically like a scalloped potato and stuff. I'll make those in the crock pot. And then my crock pot Alfredo sauce, if you want to see that recipe, I'll link it down below, or the video I made that in. If you ever want to see any of my recipes, I do what's for dinners pretty often, so I'll link that playlist down below, as well as like my crock pot recipes, things like that. You can check any of those out. Those are kind of my tips for how I actually make my meal plan. I hope that this helped you, just having you guys walk through it with me, make your meal plan. A couple tips I threw out there for you guys, like eating through your pantry, your freezers, making sure you're circulating food. That's gonna save you money. Making sure that you schedule in those convenience meals or those easy dinners for yourself, and giving yourself a little bit of a break, whether that be you work like a normal Monday through Friday and every Saturday you make a crock pot meal, and you make a big enough meal also for Sunday, so you have leftovers, so you only have to cook like once on the weekends, and you can prioritize other things like family time or cleaning, whatever you have to do. We're all busy, so I totally understand how that goes. Just different things like that. Writing in your boxed dinners sometimes, or your frozen dinners. Sometimes you just need that little bit of a break. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see how you can save half on your grocery bill, if you're really looking for more budgeting tips, I did that video last week. I'll link that video down below if you're interested in learning how I grocery budget for my family. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and of course I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Stay here, no, ain't gonna keep it low now. If you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up.